Hi, this is Pilleater. I'd like to talk about the making of Cosmic Encounter. What is Cosmic Encounter? Cosmic Encounter is a board game that was conceived all the way back in 1971, but didn't get published till 1977. It predates Dungeons & Dragons that it was the first board game to introduce roleplay as a game mechanic. The game designers, Bill Olatka, Bill Eberle, and Peter's son, Greg, appeared on The Stark Truth on February 17, 2017. I was the co-host. It was one of my favorite episodes, and it was an honor to have them on. But always I have wondered, how did they make such a unique game? I had one philosophy about Cosmic Encounter. I told Peter, Greg, and Bill that it was like an avant-garde art project, or something like a modular synthesizer. They laughed at such a claim. A modular synthesizer produces different results in sequencing and sound. Electronic musicians are obsessed with Eurorax and creating chaos. Cosmic Encounter has infinite possibilities, and no game is ever alike, hence such taglines, always different, always fun, a game of infinite possibilities, and the game that breaks its own rules. I have read Olatka's design process and learned more about creating artistic games, the Cosmic Way. There are two important articles by Peter Olatka. Risk, featured in Family Games, The 100 Best, and Fair Isn't Fair, featured in Tabletop Analog Game Design. Both articles were written by Olatka to give insight in the design process behind Cosmic Encounter and of its history. I also recommend you check out the podcast I did with Olatka and company on The Stark Truth. Games that influenced Cosmic Encounter. First, there was Risk from 1959, with the Disney-esque whale and board. And then there was the Godfather game of 1971 that had the violin case, chess for its unique movements, and poker for the bluffing aspect. Risk was about personal relationships fighting over territory with a simplistic dice resolution. Intelligent kids find this enjoyable. However, dice gave into luck, and this would change the politics and choices. The Godfather game was more about theme, thinking outside the box, mixed with resource control. And you have to ask, is it even a game, or a toy game? After many sessions with Risk, Olatka and his friends wanted to create their own improvement of the game. They created the set of game principles. The following principles would later incorporate into the game Cosmic Encounter. As followed, it would have no dice. No one would be eliminated. You could have allies or win together. Every player would be different. Every game would be different. You could attack or compromise. It would not be of this world. If you can do that, then I can do this, and counter it. And a license to cheat. All these principles together created Cosmic Encounter. These principles were incorporated into the early prototypes. The first prototype, or the Universe game, was like a toy set. There was 5 to 6 alien powers, and each had an action figure attached to it. It was more about theme than of game design, and acted like a toy. The plant had rubber vines, and the machine had wires. The next prototype cut the toy aspect and became a traditional board game. It featured hand-drawn aliens. Finally, there was the Parker Brothers prototype of 1976. It had 6 aliens, but the publishers turned it down because science fiction doesn't sell. Ironically, Star Wars came out a year later. Cosmic Encounter was self-published in 1977, and since gained a cult following. Cosmic Encounter is an open system, which means new components can extend the game or turn it into an entirely different game. The game is very similar to Dungeons & Dragons that it gives the players a rule to work with, and a system which can be manipulated by the game master or the players. Players are always interacting with one another, making alliances, and either winning or losing, together or not. The game would go through multiple additions and expansions, introducing new aliens, something like of Pokemon. Cosmic Encounter now has over 100 different aliens. There is also other Cosmic-inspired products. Last week, I was in my board game store, and I saw the Dungeons & Dragons monster cards. They give the Game Master rules to play with, while the Power and Race cards give the players rules to work with. Think of role-playing games as the game of designing games. Modern board games will try and spice up the design by introducing character cards that will alter the game, either by choice or by randomization. Doomtown and Nightmare Chess follow a tradition of modular outcomes. Nightmare Chess being traditional chess but with cards that change the rules of the game, and Doomtown being like a trading card game but the aspect of bluffing just like in poker. Peter Olotka has some wisdom regarding game design. This is the list, but I will go to each point. Wish fulfillment. Give the player if only. Cosmic Encounter aliens do this. For example, I could see what she has. I could get do-over. I could get rid of this card. I couldn't die. What can the game be and cannot be? Can they be broken with a single wish? It feels like cheating. Because it is. And if you give the player the if-only action, they can do whatever they want. Games as a social structure that operates under its own constitution. Games are a way to socialize. So what else is there? There is nothing else holding a person back. Rules don't exist. Most games labor under rules that are designed to be fair, but end up closing off people's wishes, feelings, and choices. A computer limits human interaction. Fair is not funny. Olotka likes funny games. Serious games are for serious people. It's for a certain type of person. Are you designing that type of game or something else? Humorous, virtuous, and good. Games can be funny and can make people happy. A game presents itself as virtuous, showing anyone can join in and play. No age or gender limit. The game is good because it means well to everyone. It only wants good behavior back from its players. Anti-complexity. Again, would you rather play a sophisticated war game or something played under 2 hours where the game doesn't hurt you? See Don't Make Me Think, a common-sense approach to web usability by Steve Krug, which is about interface. Interface is everything. Is it hard to learn or hard to master? The games that have longevity are like Magic the Gathering. This is because the interface is simple and the rules are easy. Against fairness. Why be fair? It's a type of person that wants fairness. Something like an SJW or egalitarian. It requires raw intellectualism to understand that nothing is fair and therefore making sense of an imbalanced game is heroic. Different cultures create different games. Who are you attracting when you make a game? The players who have more freedom is less fair. So why should you be shackled down by fairness? Just fight back with more freedom. Winning and losing as the same outcome. If you play to win, you are like everyone else. If you are indifferent about losing, either you are pretentious, lazy, or insane. There is an objective, but that objective is neither judged by anyone else. If you win, congratulations. People rarely win today, so you should try and win at something. Realize that you may win something, even though you have lost. As George Carlin once said, you are the last winner. This was a joke against the winning culture. Enjoy playing and see where it gets you, though you should try to win. Otherwise, you are a cuck. Surprising the designer. The game is modular, that random mathematics and human results change the entire outcome of the game. If you are the designer and knew everything about the game, then it's a puzzle. You made something truly unique if the game has no ultimate solution. That is not a puzzle. The game should be an organic germ, like John Conway's Game of Life. Retelling the gameplay as a story to new people or other players. Like surprising the designer, every player creates a mythology around the game they played, an experience like no other. If the game session can be retold as a short novella, it's a good thing. But remember this, the story is a byproduct of the game, not the game itself. Random outcomes create new experiences. Creating unique art, not games that have been made before. In words of Peter Olotka, you just have to do it, so you might as well do it well. Focus on creating games that are unique. Work hard at defining your space. Now, this is fine art. Do something that is antisocial socially. People will get your art once you start producing it. Think of the art of Jackson Pollock. It's random and unique experiences. This is also something as well that is wanted in game design. And if you were to truly make a game like Cosmic Encounter, you have to stop using computer logic, where most today's game design is a computer feeding in information, and think of things in terms of random and unique experiences among the player playing the game. By following Alakta's wisdom, you can create something of the next Cosmic Encounter. Thanks for listening. Click the subscribe button at www.youtube.com/pilleater. Subscribe now.